Welcome back to the channel. If you're a Boston Celtics fan, it's a rough day. As you guys may already know, Jaylen Brown, all-star guard, has suffered a torn ligament in his wrist that will keep him out for the remainder of the season. This is a huge and major blow to the Boston Celtics. Jaylen Brown was having a great season, proving to everyone that he's one of the best shooting guards in the league right now, averaging close to 25 points per game on 48% shooting, career high in minutes, career high in points, even career high in assists. Jaylen has been proving to everyone that he's one of the best few young players in the game right now. And it's important that we highlight that. It makes me think back to when Jaylen Brown signed his max contract in 2019, and there were so many haters that didn't believe that he was deserving of his contract. But ever since he signed that contract in 2019, Jaylen has been proving all of his doubters wrong, proving to his critics that he's one of the elite players in the game right now and has been improving ever since. And it's important that we highlight that. It sucks that we won't be able to see him playing in the biggest moments of the year, which is the playoffs, when we think about all the exciting games that he's had this season, such as dropping 40 points against LA back in April, and back in March when he had 10 threes against the Magic in a win. We want to see our best players play in the playoffs, and it's unfortunate that we won't be able to see Jaylen Brown play. Now, with an injury that Jaylen Brown has suffered, which is a torn ligament in his wrist, the timetable for that injury is a few months, but Jaylen will make a full recovery and be prepared for next season and be 100% healthy. But let's talk about the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics are currently the 7th seed right now in the Eastern Conference. In their last 10 games, they've been 4-6, and they've lost games against teams that they should be beating. And it's just a testament to how much talent they have on this team. It's so unfortunate because in April, they were one of the hottest teams in the league. I believe they were 9-1 at one point, and it seemed like they were turning the corner, about to become one of the top 4 seeds in the Eastern Conference, like we expected at the beginning of the season. But that didn't come to fruition as well. This team has dealt with a lot of injuries before Jaylen's injury, such as Kemba Walker dealing with knee injuries most of the season, and Marcus Smart, who missed most of the season in February and in March. It's just tough to look at. Back in April, they were one of the hottest teams in the NBA, sitting at 8-1 to start that month. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum were the highest scoring duo in the NBA with the most points. It seemed like they were going to turn the corner and become one of the top 4 seeds in the Eastern Conference. But like I said before, they're 4-6 in their last 10 games and have lost games to teams that they should be beating. Again, the Celtics are the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. Do I think they'll become the 7th or 8th seed in the playoffs? I think it's a possibility. I think that they can get one win against the Pacers, Wizards, or Hornets if they can stay in the 7th or 8th seed, and only one win will be needed just to get into the playoffs. Now, as a 7th or 8th seed, I don't think they'll have any shot of making any noise in the playoffs. Having to go up against the Philadelphia 76ers, Brooklyn Nets, or even the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round is just too much of a feat for the Boston Celtics to overcome right now. Losing Jaylen Brown was too much of a blow, and Jason Tatum is an elite player that we all know can do crazy things in crunch time in the playoffs, but it's just too much to ask when you're going up against one out of the 3 best teams in the Eastern Conference. Kemba Walker as your second option in 2021 isn't ideal. We all know Kemba Walker has been a great player in his career, but in this season and what he's dealt with concerning his injuries, I don't have any faith in seeing Kemba Walker perform as an elite second option for this Boston Celtics team. I think picking up Evan Fournier at the trade deadline was big time, since Jaylen Brown will be gone for the rest of the season. And Evan Fournier did have a great season before he was traded to the Boston Celtics, averaging almost close to 20 points per game, and we all know he can shoot the ball. Having Evan Fournier on the court will give Kemba Walker and Jason Tatum a little bit more space to operate on the offensive side of the ball. He may not be the best playmaker, but the defense will have to respect his outside shooting threat. And in his past recent games, he's been looking pretty good. His first few games when he came out for the Boston Celtics weren't the best, but I think that he's finding his rhythm with this new Boston Celtics offense. And since he'll have more minutes and more time to produce on the floor since Jaylen Brown is gone, we should see more improvement in his offensive statistics as well. I want to mention one thing, that when it comes down to injuries of this nature that have a great magnitude to an entire team, when you have an injury of this magnitude that affects the entire season for a team, a lot of questions begin to arise regarding the past decisions and roster changes that a front office has made. You look at the Boston Celtics, and we know that this team has had many assets and many draft picks that could have been used to trade for an elite player, but the Boston Celtics have passed on those opportunities countless times. We can even talk about how they've missed out in free agency countless times. Now, you did get Kyrie back in 2018, you did get Gordon Hayward in 2018, but both of them are gone. Kyrie's having an all-NBA season, and Gordon Hayward seems to have found his footing and playing a little bit better for a team that might play the Celtics in the play-in tournament, the Charlotte Hornets. You had Terry Rozier, who now plays for the Charlotte Hornets, and it may not be crazy enough to say, but he might be having a better season than Kemba Walker. Now, I'm not saying that the Boston Celtics are a shell of themselves. Like I said before, people are going to start asking questions to what are the Celtics doing with all the assets that they've had. I like the young talent on the team, but I've always stressed on this Boston Celtics team how important it was for them to get a defending center and a playmaking guard to facilitate this offense. When you look at the Boston Celtics numbers, they're one of the worst teams when it comes to playmaking. Bottom half in the league when it comes to assists per game and assist percentage. How can you have an offense where Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, their offensive game doesn't really translate to the entire team? They're great scorers, but they don't really look to get others involved in the offense. And then with the team such as the Celtics, who has two great offensive scorers, you still have to find a way to get your others comfortable in the game. And if you look at this season, the Celtics have not done that. You look at Marcus Smart, who leads the Celtics in assists per game. Marcus Smart's a great player, but I don't think anybody would want to trust him to try to run your offense. In this offseason, they have to find a playmaking guard that can help facilitate this offense and also make it easier for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to be offensive elite players for the Boston Celtics. In addition, they need to find a defensive center that can be able to aid the Celtics in a defensive low post area. I like Robert Williams. He's a great player, but I do think that the Celtics have been lacking in that area for years now. At the end of the day, losing Jaylen Brown has been an icing on the cake for a very, very unfortunate and disappointing season for the Boston Celtics. I personally do wish that Jaylen Brown has a speedy recovery because I really want to see him get back out on the court and keep proving to the NBA world that he's one of the best guards that this era has to offer. In regards to the Celtics, what do you guys think? Do you think they'll make the play-in tournament and eventually make it to the playoffs? Or will they make it to the play-in tournament and be bounced out and headed home? Let me know in the comment section. If you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead and subscribe. We're almost on our way to 200 subscribers. Go ahead and leave a like, comment as well, and turn that post notification bell so you never miss a video. And as always, stay on beat.